Welcome to Teacher Yappy's math class. Today we are at lesson 1 on comparison model involving two quantities. In today's lesson, we will learn how to solve word problems involving comparison models using two methods. The first method is take away excess method, and the second method is fill up gap method. Now let's look at an example of a problem situation that requires us to use comparison models to solve the problem. Father gave Alan and Ben $98 to be shared between themselves. Alan had $16 more than Ben. In this problem situation, we need to find how much Ben had in the end. Now, since Father gave Alan and Ben $98 to be shared between themselves, can we just divide $98 by 2 to find Ben's amount? No, we can't, because Alan and Ben did not share the sum of money equally between themselves. Then, how should we solve this problem? We can draw a comparison model based on the problem situation. Let us recall the problem situation again. Father gave Alan and Ben $98 to be shared between themselves. Alan had $16 more than Ben. How much did Ben have? These statements that says that Alan had $16 more than Ben tells us that we have to draw a comparison model in which Alan's bar would be longer than Ben's bar by $16. Alan and Ben had $98 to be shared between themselves. That means the total amount that both of them had will be $98, and then we have to indicate that in the model. We are required to find the amount that Ben had in this problem situation. So we indicate that by a question mark in the model. This will be the value that we need to find. As we can see from the model, we cannot divide $98 by 2 to find Ben's amount because the two bars are not equal length. So how do we change the bars such that they are of equal length? There are two methods. The first method is called take away excess method. In this method, we let the shorter bar be 1 unit. So Ben's bar will be 1 unit, and Alan's bar, which is the longer bar, will be 1 unit with an excess of $16. To make the two bars of equal length, we have to take away the excess of $16. When we did that, you can see that the two bars become equal length. However, since we have taken away $16 from the model, we also have to take away $16 from the total. So from there, we can see that the two units will be $98, take away $16, and that will give us $82. The two units are two bars of equal length. Therefore, to find 1 unit, we can take the total to divide by 2. That will work out 1 unit to be $41. As you can see from the original model, Ben's amount is represented by 1 unit. Therefore, to find Ben's amount, the answer will be $41. What happens if we change the question? Instead of finding Ben's amount, the question requires us to find Alan's amount. You can see from the model now that the unknown value that we need to find is now the longer bar. So to find Alan's amount is to find the value of the longer bar, which is 1 unit plus an excess of $16. So Alan's amount will be $41 plus $16, and that will give us $57. So Alan had $57. Let us move on to the second method called fill up gap method. In the second method, we let the longer bar be 1 part. So we can see that the shorter bar is not long enough to make up 1 part. So to make the 2 bars of equal length, I have to fill the gap of $16. When I did that, I will end up with 2 equal parts. The 2 bars are now of the same length. When I added $16 to the model, I also have to make sure that I add $16 to the total. From the model now, we can see that the 2 parts or the 2 bars will give me a total of $114. Since the 2 parts are bars of equal length, I can find 1 part easily by taking the total of $114 to divide by 2. That will give me the value of 1 part, which happens to be Alan's amount. However, the question asked for Ben's amount. So from the model, we can see that Ben's amount is actually 1 part take away $16. Since 1 part is $57, if we take $57 to subtract $16, we will find that Ben's amount is actually $41. Let us recall the 2 methods that we have used to change the bars to equal length in order to solve the problem that we have just gone through. Remember that in the first method, we are using the take away excess method. And this is what we did in the take away excess method. Firstly, we let the shorter bar be 1 unit. So if the shorter bar is 1 unit, you will see that the longer bar will be 1 unit plus an extra amount called the excess. To make the 2 bars of equal length, I have to take away the excess. And when I did that, I have to make sure I take away the excess from the total too. Then we can see that now we have 2 equal bars or 2 equal units. And the total of the 2 equal units is 98 take away $16. That will give us $82. Since they are equal units, I can find 1 unit by dividing 82 by 2. And that will give me the value of 1 unit. If I know the value of 1 unit, I'll be able to find Ben's amount or Alan's amount based on the model. The second method that we used is fill up gap method. This is what we did in the second method. We let the longer bar be one part. Then we see that the shorter bar is not long enough to be one part. So what we did was to fill up the gap in the shorter bar. In doing so, I will now have two equal parts, two bars of the same length. But because I have just added $16 to the model, I have to make sure that I also add $16 to the total. So from the model, we can see that the two equal parts are now $98 plus $16, which is $114. The two parts are of equal length, so to find one part, I can simply divide the total by 2, and that will give me the value of one part, which is $57. So knowing the value of one part will enable me to find the amount that Alan had or the amount that Ben had based on the model that I have drawn. We have come to the end of lesson 1. Thank you for joining us. I hope you have learned something new today. Goodbye.